When it comes to copper mining, it's usually done through open pit mining. Mining on the surface that involves taking minerals out of an open pit in the ground is called open pit mining or open cast mining. Because it doesn't require tunnels or extractive techniques, open pit mining is the most widely utilized technique for mining minerals worldwide. The first step in mining copper is exploring the site of the open pit mining. Since copper is found in the Earth's crust, it can be extracted through blastings. These are planned and controlled explosions intended to fracture rocks containing copper. Drilling is done to create 16-meter-long holes that are then filled with a high explosive known as ANFO, diesel, and ammonium nitrate. Electronic devices are used to ignite the explosions in serial with a gap of around 2 milliseconds between each explosion. The material is placed into haul trucks, which have the capacity to carry up to 300 sports cars. After the explosion, these mines are operated from a control center atop a tower, which tracks movements in real time using GPS and sophisticated electronic communication networks. Depending on the grade of the copper, the material is carried to various sites. Low-grade material, known as dipitate, is deposited in regions set aside for this purpose and is considered waste. Leachables, also known as half-law materials, are placed on designated areas around the edges of the mine. On the verge of becoming Canada's third largest copper mine, the Copper Mountain Project is an open-pit copper-gold porphyry deposit. The project, which hasn't been developed in 15 years, will bring hundreds of millions of dollars to Princeton, British Columbia, and create over 1,000 direct or indirect jobs. Over 1.5 years and over 1 million hours of selfless labor went into the construction of the project, but now that the Copper Mountain Mine is operational and construction is finished, it was well worth it. The project is expected to yield about 105 million pounds of copper annually and uses a 5 billion pound copper deposit. The entire capital costs, with the assistance of a partner, Mitsubishi Materials Corporation, are $438 million. The mine is anticipated to continue producing for a very long period, with the support of a 75-25 debt-to-equity finance. Founded in 1976, the Chile Codelco is a state-owned copper mining enterprise situated in Chile. The company, which is among the top producers of copper worldwide, operates a number of mines in Chile, including the well-known El Teniente mine, which is regarded as one of the largest underground copper mines in the world. The use of enormous roto shovels at Chile Codelco's Division Radamaro Tamuc location is a noteworthy feature of the mining operations. These massive machines are used as continuous excavation tools in large-scale open-pit mining operations. Among the most important vehicles ever built, these shovels have the amazing ability to remove nearly 220,000 tons of leached material every day. Their distinctive design includes a large wheel and revolving pattern of buckets or baskets to collect materials. This innovative approach enables efficient and high-volume extraction of precious resources. At 3.8 million tons annually, Kamoa Copper Phase 1 concentrator is almost operating at steady-state design performance. By the end of 2023, the plant hopes to operate at steady-state design performance. Copper grades average between 2.5% and 3%, and recovery rates at the concentrator are steady. Raw ore is first crushed, pulverized, and combined with chemicals and water, and then fed through flotation circuits. A superior concentrate is created when the air bubbles are extracted to the copper minerals, before being sent to smelters for additional processing and refining. The concentrate is subjected to additional processing to ensure that it satisfies purity and quality criteria. For the non-ferrous metals sector, which includes copper, SMS Group, and a worldwide supplier of plant technology, along with processing machines and all-encompassing solutions for the value chain, they provide a variety of goods and services. The exceptional electrical, malleability, and thermal conductivity qualities of copper plants make them indispensable to the production process. Modern material handling, crushing, grinding, and separation technologies are all used in the copper plants owned by SMS Group. For maximum efficiency and reduced emissions, they also provide cutting-edge environmental control systems. They offer a full range of services, including renovations, plant modernization, and the provision of spare parts to prolong the life of current installations. The largest producer of copper and precious metals in North America is the Foundry Horn, which has been in operation since 1927. They are a front-runner in the recycling of electronic equipment because they make 99.1% pure copper anodes using recyclable materials and copper concentrates. The smelter's capacity to adjust to changes in the worldwide market is demonstrated by their perseverance in processing complicated materials. They have security checkpoints to keep an eye on entrances and exits, an emergency squad, and specific infrastructure for training contractors and employees. The smelter recovers the sulfur and turns it into sulfuric steel. To meet global demand, it ships around 740,000 tons of copper concentrate and other metals every year. The company's significance in the copper business is demonstrated by its adaptability and capacity to handle challenging materials. SCC is a prominent global integrated copper producer operating in Mexico and Peru. The company has a wide range of products, including lead, carbon, zinc, copper, molybdenum, and silver. Since its founding in 1996, SCC has grown to become a major force in the world's metals market, listing its common shares on the Lima Stock Exchange in addition to the New York Stock Exchange. SCC has consistently shown a dedication to ethical mining methods by making sure that all of its operations follow stringent environmental regulations. This commitment to sustainability goes beyond the business's immediate operations and into the communities in which it operates, building enduring bonds with stakeholders and advancing regional advancement. A system comprising a melting and holding furnace and apparatus for manufacturing continuous cast copper wire rod is called a single furnace upcast line. Depending on the furnace size selected, these lines can produce up to 12,000 TPA, tons per annum. Compared to the traditional setups, they have many benefits, such as lower energy usage, fewer capital costs, simpler maintenance, and greater flexibility in terms of product mix and production numbers. The automotive, electronics, and construction industries are just a few of the areas in which single-furnace upcast lines find extensive and varied applications. These lines are perfect for small-scale producers since they can be readily scaled up or down in response to variations in demand. The 6, 8, 10, and 12 tons of molten copper storage capacity are the 4 possibilities. The factory run by the company In Order is the next on our list. This plant manufactures premium copper tubes to meet a variety of industrial needs, such as those in the plumbing, refrigeration, and air conditioning sectors. With a 100,000 metric ton annual production capability, the plant has the latest machinery and equipment and employs about 500 professional personnel. The HME Copper Tube Production Line is a cutting-edge facility that processes copper tubes effectively by using sophisticated technology and automated technologies. Selection of materials, preparation, extrusion, cutting, shape, polishing, and testing are all steps in the process. Premium copper strips are hand-selected and prepped for the extrusion process, which uses heat and hydraulic pressure to form the strips into hollow tubes. After that, the tubes are molded and tribbed to fit precise measurements and specifications. Following testing and polishing, the completed tubes go through stringent quality control inspections. After approval, the tubes are packed and shipped to clients all over the world. HME's dedication to maintaining product quality control is evident in this innovative production procedure. Before even seeding the peanuts into the ground, a machine goes over the land first. This is to prepare the soil for the planting. During this time, a machine is tasked to make sure that there is no debris, the rows are marked, and furrows are created. These are the grooves where the peanuts will be placed. Seed planting is a crucial process in agriculture, with machines being more efficient and faster than manual methods. The planter uses a hopper to hold peanuts and drops them into furrows at regular intervals, with spacing between 2 to 3 inches. Ideally, peanut seed should be planted in mid to late spring when temperatures are 65 to 70 degrees Fahrenheit. The machine then covers the peanuts with soil using discs or tubes, protecting them from erosion and pests. Some planters may also have a compaction system to retain moisture and discourage weed growth. Once the planting is complete, the waiting game begins. During the whole process, it's important that the peanut seeds are monitored. In fact, even during the planting, factors like the soil moisture, temperature, and seed placement are also monitored to ensure that optimal growing conditions for the peanuts are given. The peanuts need to be watered adequately to ensure that they turn into high-quality products. Most of the time, the whole peanut growth cycle takes around 4 to 5 months, or 120 to 160 days. Once the leaves of the plant begin to turn yellow and start to fall off, the farmers begin the harvesting process. Most of the time, this is done in fall. The machinery used for this stage are combine harvesters. Their main job is to lift the plant off the ground, shake the roots, and flip it upside down and leave it in the soil for 3 to 4 days. First of all, the peanuts need to be collected. Thanks to the machine's series of rollers and brushes, the peanuts can be collected from the ground and transferred on the central basket or hopper. Some machines are capable of working with 3 rows simultaneously, while others can handle up to 4 of them at the same time. Then, threshing needs to be done. This is the process of separating the peanut from the rest of the plant. When a combine is used, threshing takes place in the field during harvest thanks to a combine harvester's threshing capacities. Peanuts are processed and transported to processing facilities for the production of peanut butter. Large-scale harvests often use machines to enhance efficiency and accuracy. After harvesting, peanuts are loaded into trucks or transport vehicles for transportation. Processing facilities begin the peanut butter production process. The peanuts will be delivered to a drop-off facility where the grading process begins. During this time, batches of peanuts are assessed to determine their value. Factors like meat content, size of pods, kernel size, moisture content, damaged kernels, and foreign material are assessed during this time. To make the whole process efficient, huge machinery like these ones are used in handling tons and tons of peanuts. Drop-off facilities like this put peanuts into batches and label them accordingly. They are then stored into these shelves to wait for further processing. Moving on to the next step. These peanuts are taken from storage and transferred to a shelling plant. They are cleaned, and debris is removed from them. By removing the peanuts at a high speed, the hard shell is removed with the goal of preserving as much of the intact peanut kernel as possible. This machine, used to shell peanuts, allows the moving peanuts to bump into one another. This results in the cracking of the shells and the kernels falling out. These are then sifted to allow the smaller ones to fall through. To get rid of foreign objects, the peanuts that have been shelled are washed once again. After the shelling and cleaning, the peanuts need to go through the process of blanching. By definition, blanching is the removal of the reddish skin covering the kernels. During this stage, the peanuts need to pass through warm air. They will be doing this for some time because this helps loosen up the skins of the peanuts. After that, the kernels need to go through a blanching machine. Basically, a blanching machine uses large rollers to rub the surfaces of the kernels until the skin falls off. The peanut's bitter-tasting cores are also removed during this procedure, along with the kernels, which are split in half. The blanched nuts are next mechanically examined on a conveyor belt to remove any that are rotting or burnt. To ensure that high-quality peanuts are still produced, workers manually check their colors and quality. Samples of the peanut are also checked further. After blanching, the peanuts will be fed into a grinder. This will convert them into a paste while also incorporating other ingredients for the peanut butter. When making peanut butter, the temperature rises to 60 degrees Celsius. Thus, it must be cooled to 38 degrees Celsius. To stop oxidation, which lengthens the shelf life of peanuts by lowering the oxygen level, they are kept under constant pressure. Bacteria have a tougher time thriving and spoiling because of the lower oxygen content. After being ground, the peanut butter is stabilized, de-aerated, and prepared for packaging. Then, the peanut butter is ready for packaging. They are placed onto jars, in a continuous stream under even pressure. To avoid spoiling caused by oxidation, the processing facility makes sure that all jars are vacuum sealed. Each of the jars and caps are used, cleaned, and checked to ensure the highest level of hygiene. Once these steps are done, the jars are labeled according to their flavor. Then, they are sealed shut and placed into cartons to prepare for the whole shipping process. Hello and welcome back to Mighty Machines. Today we'll look at marble mining and manufacturing from a $1 billion quarry, the Luxury Stone. Open-cast quarries, which are substantial excavations excavated into the Earth's surface to access the stone formations beneath, are usually the source of marble extraction. The kind of marble being mined in the particular quarry will determine the extraction technique that is used. For instance, Crema Marfil Kodo is a well-liked marble type that is removed using vertical cuts, but depending on the local morphology, other varieties may be removed horizontally. One intriguing aspect of marble is that it frequently has veining, or patterns, that give it a distinctive look. These patterns can be streaks of color, whirling shapes, or even what looks like golden particles. The Sinai Peninsula marble is one type of marble that is well known for its unusual pattern. It has a creamy yellow tint and a flecked pattern. It's important to remember that flawless blocks of consistent size are not always the end result of the marble extraction process. The size and shape of the final blocks can vary depending on the quarry's environment and the extraction techniques employed. But with careful planning and state-of-the-art equipment, these variances can be reduced to guarantee the best possible marble production. Once workers from the mining site have acquired the marble, they'll be cut into slabs. The process of doing so is a combination of using manual labor and technology. Since each marble block typically weighs 6 to 15 tons, mining sites use heavy equipment. Marbles do not just appear overnight. They are created when a limestone is underground and subjected to high heat and pressure. They come into these huge pieces, which is why they need to be cut down into slabs. In cutting the marble blocks, the workers have two options: using regular saws or wet saws. This is usually dependent on the size or composition of the block. In this case, they use a wet saw. This machine functions by spraying water on the tile while it's cutting, which keeps the material cool and avoids creating cracks. Because wheel loaders are built to withstand large loads and perform well in harsh conditions, they are perfect for use in quarries and other industrial settings. Production can continue on schedule thanks to these machines' rapid and effective lifting and movement of enormous quantities of material. They can help in marble slab processing in conjunction with crawler tractors. They are able to move the marble blocks because of their 35-ton capacity. After the blocks are removed from the quarry, they must be shipped to manufacturers so that additional processing can be done. Wheel loaders often operate in tandem with cranes and other specialist machinery to make this process easier. Together, these machines ensure that the blocks are moved safely and efficiently from one location to another. The blocks are unloaded and sorted at the manufacturer's factory before being sawed into certain sizes and shapes. Meticulous attention to detail and exact control over the machinery involved are necessary for this operation. In order to accurately position the blocks and prevent damage during handling, wheel loaders are also crucial in this phase of operation. Once everything has been classified, the workers proceed to cutting them into desired shapes. One of the machines used are multi-wire saws. They are ideal for the production of granite and marble slabs since it's capable of fast cutting through a set of diamond wires. It cuts through the stone at a rapid and precise pace by utilizing several wires to cut through it concurrently. Most of the time, cutting a crema marfil block will take up around 8 hours due to its weight and thickness, but the process does not end there. After they are cut, they still need to undergo individual processing in this production chain. One of the processes they do is abrasion. This allows the marble to change its appearance and to produce different finishes. Natural marble has distinctive veining patterns, colors, and textures as a result of limestone or dolostone metamorphosing over millions of years. On the other hand, artificial marble is a man-made material made of synthetic components and binding agents that is intended to resemble the look and characteristics of genuine marble. It is an artificial object manufactured by humans using small pieces of marble, stone powder, quartz, sand, colophony, plastic, cement, and acrylic glue combined into a specific ratio. After the alteration in appearance, the materials need to be strengthened to fit its different uses. They do this by attaching a mesh and mega epoxy resins for further resistance. The purpose of adding resins is to reduce breakings, heal cracks, fill any holes, and generally reinforce the structure of the slabs, hence making its appearance better and smoother. Processing marble requires a lot of cutting. One of the processes they use in the latter parts of the process is the CNC stone cutting or computer numerical control. As the name suggests, it uses a machine and computers that control the movement of a cutting tool. This makes it possible to cut complex patterns into stone without requiring manual labor. After all the cutting steps, the workers will proceed to making sure that everything is smooth. So they proceed with the finishing and minor cuttings. Once they're satisfied with how it looks, they will proceed to adding adhesive and joining all parts together. It's important to note that marble is a dense material. This means that it's fairly resistant to heat damage because it absorbs energy and heat slowly. Because of this characteristic, it's a great option for fireplace surrounds, kitchen countertops, and other areas where heat exposure is frequent. Furthermore, by gradually absorbing and releasing heat over time, marble's thermal mass can assist control indoor temperature and lessen the need for heating and cooling equipment. This is the reason it's regarded as a classic, elegant, and useful addition to houses, particularly kitchens. Now that the marble countertops are done, it's time to transport them to the client. This is one of the most crucial and challenging parts of the process because stone countertops require a specific way of handling them. They need to be carried vertically at all times. Carrying them horizontally might make them feel heavier and can even damage the integrity of the stone. This is why processing plants transport their marble countertops by attaching them to an A-frame. Using straps, chains, or other fastening mechanisms, the stone countertops are firmly fastened to the A-frame. The A-frame is then fastened to the truck with hooks, winches, or other stabilizing elements. This lessens the possibility of damage or harm during transportation by equally distributing the weight of the cargo. Then, they're moved around using carrying clamps. These clamps allow installers to carry the stone securely without compromising its finish or structural stability. The reason why corks are only harvested once every 9 years is because it involves taking the whole bark of the tree. Workers assigned in that area use axes and other similar tools to remove the bark of the cork tree and large planks. The bark is the one they will be using for the process, but they will still need to make sure that the phloem of tissue of the tree is still intact to make sure that the tree will continue growing. Each plank of bark taken will be placed into a pile until every cork tree has been harvested. Once that is done, they pile up the bark planks. In order to minimize air movement and prevent microbiological contamination, planks are piled at a little angle onto stainless steel frames situated in huge concrete spaces. Then, they are loaded in a truck as a preparation for their transportation to the processing facility. Once they reach the processing facility, each piece of the bark will be unloaded and sorted according to their quality. Then, they are placed into this machine so they can be cut down into smaller pieces. To soften and increase its pliability, the corks will be boiled or immersed in hot water. Cork planks are usually boiled in stainless steel tanks. When creating products like wine stoppers or other items that need a smooth finish, this helps to remove any leftover impurities and makes the cork bark simpler to deal with. Planks are divided according to appearance, thickness, and porosity to create cork stoppers. Only the best planks are selected for manufacturing. The defective ones are ground and used to make other goods. The planks are machine punched to remove the cylindrical stoppers after being sliced into strips. Once that is done, they load these cork stoppers onto a conveyor belt that leads them to quality assessments. Size, color, and quality are taken into consideration when sorting the corks. At this point, any flaws or defects are eliminated. If yes, they are now subject to marking or labeling. This is to give identity to the cork stopper. Workers look at each of the corks and determine whether they are good for distribution. After that, the corks are packaged and sent to wineries and other clients worldwide. The use of corks is not limited to cork stoppers alone. They can also be used in our footwear, and one excellent example of this is the Birkenstock. They are one of the most famous brands in the market now because of their unique design, but how do they do it? First of all, the processed and shredded parts of a high-quality cork is constructed into a footbed. Then, they will be processed by adding in pure natural rubber latex to the cork mixture. This helps create an optimal balance between flexibility, shock absorption, and supportive pressure relief features in each footbed component. Following that, they will be fitted based on the sole attachment size. With meticulous stitching techniques meant to attach the two sections without sacrificing the shoe's general integrity or shape, the upper and footbed are linked together. They will then be smoothed out to ensure that the sole's intended form is maintained. They will then be put into this machine to undergo additional processing and a longer curing period. Before the workers move on to the last details of the shoe, each one is examined. At this point, depending on the model, other components like laces, insoles, or reinforced heel counters may be added to further improve durability and support features. All manufacturing processes involve routine quality assurance inspections. Before being shipped to clients worldwide through approved merchants, each pair of shoes is painstakingly wrapped to ensure that it reaches those seeking comfortable, high-quality footwear. Cork can also be used as a fabric. This is made in such specific and intricate steps. First of all, The harvested cork planks should be dried out for 6 months and then follow all the usual processes made to process cork. After that, they will be put through this machine designed to press them into flattened and pressed sheets. Suberin, a naturally occurring adhesive found in cork, is then used to bind a fabric backing to the cork sheet. They will repeat this process until they make a roll of cork fabric. This cork fabric is then transferred to another facility that processes cork bags. Cork must be sorted into sheets or blocks for the process to proceed. The workers then go ahead and put them together to create the body, handle, and other parts of the bag. To give the bags a professional appearance, stitching, padding, and painting are added last. Following quality assurance, the bags are prepared for delivery. Indeed, cork is so much more than just wine bottle stoppers. They can turn into fabric, shoes, bags, and so much more. Thank you so much for joining us today in exploring how cork trees are harvested and how they are processed in the things we see on the daily.
Of course, the whole process can't start without planting the potatoes. However, this is not possible if the soil is not prepared, so farmers bring around these machines to help them till the land. With the help of its rotating tines and rollers, this machine can break up soil and prepare seed beds for the potato planting. They quickly generate deep furrows and combine subsoil and surface material thanks to their set of powerful tines that are made to rotate at high rates. This process hits a lot of the soil requirements potatoes need to grow healthily. First, it helps loosen up the soil, which enables it to receive full sun and drain well. Then, it also clears the soil of any debris, rocks, or weeds that could interfere with growth. Lastly, this aerates the soil and breaks up any clods or compacted areas. When it comes to planting potatoes, their tubers are very essential parts of the process. The enlarged portions of plants are called tubers, and they are used as storage bins by the plants to store nutrients needed to either feed their offspring or make it through the winter. Through the use of GF200 rotary tiller with GL32B planter, this farm site is able to plant potato tubers efficiently. It also works in a very efficient way. So, the machine has a tiller and a planter. While the rotary tiller is working and preparing the soil, the planter simultaneously plants the seeds at the appropriate depth and spacing for optimum growth. Another machine that can be used is the Ropa Gecko. The gecko planting machine is made to handle pre-germinated potatoes with gentleness so as not to harm their fragile sprouts when they're being planted. In order to ensure accurate placement and ideal planting circumstances for even the largest potatoes, it employs 2 workers per row to place potatoes lengthwise on germination protector belts. The equipment can adapt to diverse soil types and agricultural requirements thanks to its variable planting distance setting, with a high accuracy rate and planting speed of up to 3.5 kilometers per hour. It can lower labor expenses and enhance employee working conditions. After planting, farmers still need to monitor the growth of the potatoes. This includes weeding them. The Grime GH4 Echo is a machine that can help them. It uses rotating discs with spikes to remove weeds from soil without using chemicals or herbicides. The working width of this machine ranges between 3 to 6 meters, depending on the model chosen. It runs through rows of potatoes and cuts off excessive weeds. After about 80 to 100 days, the potatoes will be ready for harvest. High-performance combine harvesters, like the Veritron 470 and the Ropa Mouse 6, are made for precise and effective potato harvesting. It is the perfect option for large-scale farming operations, since its 4 cutting bars can handle even the largest potatoes. In order to cut potatoes gently and without injuring them, the machine starts by cutting them with serrated blades on each bar. Following cutting, the potatoes are moved to the collection area by the revolving drum, which moves them with a firm, yet gentle motion. After that, they will be transferred to these vehicles so they can be delivered to the sorting facilities for further processing. Once they reach the collection area, all potatoes will be sorted to ensure that they pass through their standards. Usually, a discharge auger is used for this, gently releasing the potatoes onto a truck or trailer that is waiting. The selected potatoes will be washed through this machine. After that, they will be peeled to remove any dirt or blemishes that could affect the taste or texture of the final product. After being peeled, the potatoes are cut into extremely thin rounds with equipment made especially for this use. Alternatively, you can chop the potatoes into wedges rather than slices to make thicker chips. Before they are fried, the sliced potatoes are quickly blanched in hot water or a saline solution to help eliminate extra starch and aid in the crispy texture of the chips. At about 350 degrees Fahrenheit, the prepared potato slices are finally deep fried in heated oil. Different kinds of oils can be used, and seasonings like salt or herbs can be added while frying to provide the desired flavor and texture. Then, they'll be transferred to these bags and will be sealed to prepare them for market distribution. The first step in making French fries is choosing potatoes of the highest caliber and just the correct amount of starch. Potatoes are meticulously chosen by farmers according to their size. After that, these potatoes are delivered to a processing plant. Potatoes are cleaned and peeled as soon as they arrive, and they are sliced into fry strips to keep the thickness uniform and eliminate extra moisture. After peeling and cutting, fried strips are subjected to raw size inspections to guarantee consistency and quality control throughout the manufacturing process. Fry strips are quickly immersed in hot water or processed through blanching to enhance the texture of the fries and further lower the risk of spoiling. In preparation for the following step, this procedure also gently softens the potatoes. The blanched fry strips are coated with a light batter, enhancing their flavor and crispiness. Manufacturers may use different oil or additives for their final product, and once pre-fried, the fries are cooked at 375 degrees Fahrenheit until crispy and golden brown. Some manufacturers may adjust cooking methods or use oils like vegetable or canola oil and add herbs or spices for unique taste experiences. The French fries are fried to perfection, then immediately frozen to maintain freshness and shelf life. This ensures consistency in quality and texture. Then, a quality assurance inspection is conducted before packaging to eliminate defects or contaminants, removing any imperfect potatoes or fries that do not meet quality standards. When frozen French fries are packaged, they are weighed and bagged in accordance with predetermined amounts, frequently with the use of automated equipment. All completed items and raw materials go through rigorous metal detection testing prior to packaging in order to avoid any potential dangers or recalls caused by metal contamination. In the finished product, only pure and safe materials are used. Lastly, depending on local laws, the fries are placed in suitable containers and may be labeled with nutritional data and expiration dates. To make handling and loading onto transport vehicles easier, The French fries are packaged and palletized into wooden or plastic pallets. Certain production facilities load prepackaged fries onto delivery trucks safely and efficiently by using automated truck loading systems, which reduce manual work. Finally, the French fries are ready to be shipped.